I was just having some thoughts about communion, right? So you have the baptismal sacrament, which is the entry into water, into the mystery of water, of being submerged in water repeatedly. Right? So not only are you introduced to the truth, but you're kind of shoved in the truth over and over and over again until you get it. Until you drown in it, right? Until the truth floods your reality, wiping out all of the wickedness and leaving only the chosen people in the ark. And so, but after that, you get this sacrament of communion, which is done with wine. And wine is interesting. It's intoxicating, right? So it's a water, it's a fluid. You're taking it in, you're ingesting it, and it's making you drunk. And so what is alcohol, right? Alcohol is an OH group. So it's lacking one of the trinitary aspects of water. Water has a trinitary aspect to it. It has oxygen and 2 hydrogens. And so it's lacking one of those hydrogens. It's lacking an OH. So you could say it's kind of like that lack, that brokenness of death, the fermentation process. Even water even adopts this fermentation process to where it has like OH groups. On like a carbon compound, right? The alcohol. So you have something dissolved in water, so you have matter, you have material, you have substance that is not water, completely dissolved in water. That's the alcohol. And so it's of the vibration of water. Anything that dissolves into water has taken on all the properties of water. It's dissolved, it's gone. It's just water there, and then that stuff is kind of in it. But it's like not just in it, it's like it's it electrically. Like it's electrons, the electrons of the substance have fully given themselves over to water, and that's what allows something to dissolve. Its outer shell matches exactly the electrical field around the oxygen hydrogen groups, right? So you have that alcohol that is matter that's gone through a death. And so it's just substance, it's experience, it's consciousness that has undergone death, fully dissolved in water, which is life. So it's like life, it's death, it's the process of death contained in life. And so, yeah, I don't know, like it's a mystery. The sacrament's a mystery, but it is like this thing of fermentation. The bread also, the bread is this matter that was supposed to be something else, like a seed. It was the seed of grain. It's logos, like the logos of bread is to be wheat, right? The logos of that seed is to be wheat, and so it failed. The bread in the sacrament is a failed purpose. It failed in its logos to become wheat. It was harvested. Right? So it's like the bread was harvested. The bread is this failed thing, and then that becomes nourishment for the soul, nourishment from God. The failure to attain your logos is what gives rise to bread, right? Like wheat, or like if the bread was to fulfill its logos, it is of no use to the human. It is of no use to the human soul. So when the bread dies, when the bread fails to fulfill its purpose, and then is fermented, is undergone this decay, this decomposition, it turns into bread, and suddenly it is something that is capable of nourishing a human. And so it's probably the same thing with our lives, right? If they fulfill their intellectual purpose, the logos that you see, if it fulfills that, then it's of no use to the soul. It's only when it is cracked, dead, harvested, decaying. Same thing. And then also with the with the water of this dying takes place inside of life, and that creates wine, that creates the drunkenness of like the ecstasy and the mystical experiences come from something that's not as complete or eternal as life, being inside of that which is eternal, like something along those gestures. And then that whole thing is the like the sacramental like mystery thing. You can think about that stuff, and then when you do that little stuff, you're eating that wisdom, eating the arrangement of reality, like eating the truth of reality. Eating truth would be the flesh of God. So in communion, you're eating truth. Like the whole liturgy is this truth condensed into drama, condensed into a meal. You're eating it, drinking it. The God that is fully present, immanent in the mundane, in the physical, but also non-Platonic, like transcendent. Like how do you eat transcendence other than through sacrament?